Hello, and welcome to our special panel discussion here of Justice in Action. Now, in an ideal world, we'd be gathered together on campus having this event as we normally have events, but we are not able to do that, so we're making the best of the technology that we have and making it work as we can. This is a really exciting conversation that we're going to have and we're going to present to you, and it's a necessary one about how we are to take our role seriously in our community and doing what we can to provide social justice and action to our work. Father Frank at our opening day mass offered in his homily a message igniting in us to say that there is a lot of social unrest in our world this year. And I think that term that he says there of social unrest is really powerful, and it's stuck with me. And it's something I've been thinking about and praying about in realizing that there is social unrest. And then, well, what do we do with that? You know, it's one thing to talk, and that's important, but then how do we inspire each other to move forward and create action? So that's what we want to do today, is have a discussion. This hopefully will be part one, and then you will take care of the rest of the parts in your own heart and your own way of doing things that you do. We have a great tradition on this campus of being invested in service all throughout the campus in various offices and various initiatives, and we're really proud of that. So we want to take the time here to build up that energy by spotlighting some people that we think are doing a great job of that. So I'm going to invite in here some students who are leading the way and doing some great things on our campus. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, welcome.
Hey, how are you?
We have Jeremy, we have Cheyenne and Carly here to have a discussion with us. So first, before we start, why don't you, we'll go around, introduce yourself and say what your role is on campus, if you're involved in any clubs, what year you are, and what major.
Okay,
All right.
I'll go first, I guess.
Sure.
So I'm a senior. I'm a business administration major, and I am the president of STARS and also an operations manager at CAB.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Jeremy. I'm a math computer science major at St. Joseph's, and I am currently the president of Diversity Union.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cheyenne. I'm vice president of Diversity Union. I'm currently a senior majoring in organizational management with a minor in legal studies.
Awesome. I love the diversity of the majors here, of what everyone's involved in. That's really cool. And I think that's really good. And that's exciting about this campus. I've noticed that a lot of students we have a history of having students getting a lot of different degrees and a lot of different backgrounds, which is really valuable for then going and graduating and becoming part of the community and being part of something greater than yourself. My first question here for all of you is, well, in any situation with anything going on in the world, right, we have to admit that there's awareness that needs to be had about an issue or whatever it is, right? And so the first step is awareness and figuring out, okay, well, what is it that we need to focus in on and how do we move forward? So how do you all stay aware, and what do you think is a vital way to help people your age as college students develop a healthy awareness of what's going on?
I guess I'll jump in.
Sure.
I guess with me, I have a very mixed background. I'm Native American, I'm Black, and I'm also white. Hence, also, Columbus Day just passed, so you see me with a little bit of traditional wear on here. So one way I keep active in the community is just by engaging my community, my indigenous community, which is literally 15 miles away from campus, with St. Joseph's. Also by participating in protests. Over the summer, I was able to protest for George Floyd and connect with Diversity Union. So that's one way that I'm keeping in touch with the community and making sure that my voice is heard, and I'm doing as much as I can.
Yeah, beautiful. And thank you. I love the your hair and
thank you.
Yeah, Carly and Jeremy, what from your experience as students, what is a way that you work to stay aware? Yeah.
So I kind of on a different side of awareness, but one way I stay aware is there's a lot of people in need. I think that a lot of people think like what you have is just something everyone has, and that's just not the case. So I work at a lot of soup kitchens, food pantries. I encourage people to get involved, and I always tell people, like, you never know what someone's going through behind closed doors. So I think that that's like a good message just to like, share with everyone, just to keep you aware. Like someone could be having a bad day, or like they could be dealing with something way larger.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And my way of being aware is just, first of all, just knowing what's going on in the world. I know that social media can be like misleading at times, but I do try to, stay focused and learn many sides of whatever stories that's being told. My way of being aware is also being involved because a lot of people think, because we're in quarantine times or during the coronavirus that we can't help, but there's many ways we can still help our community. So my way of being aware is still trying to reach out to people in need and just being informed or even talking to my peers about what's going on and how they feel. That's my way of being aware.
Beautiful answers, and I love that you're all active already, which is why you've been invited to be part of this discussion, and you're active in various ways, which is really awesome and exciting for us to see. And you've all kind of already answered this second question I have here, but I'm still going to ask it because I think it's a fun one. Is what do you think the term action means to you? When you hear action, I think words are really, really interesting in that they could carry different meanings for all of us in wonderful ways. So when you hear action, what does that mean for you?
Okay. When I hear action, I immediately think of advocacy and making sure your voice is heard. For instance, around this time last year, I actually reached out to the upper administration because I seen something on the academic calendar, and it stated that St. Joseph celebrates Columbus Day. And I'm like, once again, me as an Indigenous person, I thought, hey, I need to take action because there are other Indigenous people attending this school who are uncomfortable with it. So I stood up and I wrote a letter to administration and I made sure I took action. And fortunately, this year it's off of our academic calendar and now it just says no holiday. And I'm very fortunate that St. Joseph's is currently on the right side of history now and we're being transparent and we're moving forward. So that's one way I believe in action, and that's what it represents to me, advocacy.
Yeah, and starting conversations, because I think from what you did there was a really great opportunity for conversations to be started where not only, because sometimes not only a decision was made, but conversations were had about all different sides of what that is. Because I think, it's interesting how different things take a different meaning in the world. And then if we don't have those conversations and we don't figure out what they mean, then we just see headlines. So I think, so advocacy is a beautiful word there. I really appreciate that word. What else? Action. What else do we think of?
When I think of action, I think it's also taking that first step. But I also think of action as not always getting recognition for something. I think that action shouldn't be something like, oh, I did this, so I should get credit for this. I think action is something more powerful. And it's something that says, like, I did this because I wanted to do something and I wanted to help.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, action, when I think of the word action, I think of there's both sides. So whether you're being proactive or reactive, and that's the thing in society that we tend to always focus on issues after the fact, but action goes both ways, and so we have to be able to always think up ahead before it happens, because a lot of times people believe that, oh, that's never going to happen to me. But you don't know. And once it hits close to home, that's when we start being reactive. So action to me is both being ahead of the schedule or sometimes just working the best way, because sometimes you have to do, put your best efforts forward.
You've all shared something along the lines of saying that in your own way, that we never know where people are coming from. And we not always, but we have a tendency of thinking, oh, this might not happen to me. But then when it does, it develops a different gravity. I think that is a really beautiful way to carry awareness because, and I think this virus, as terrible as it has been to people, and so many lives have been lost. What's been really humbling about it is that it's been putting a lot of people on a similar plane, and that we all are experiencing things that are really difficult in our own way. And this virus is hitting us all in a certain way, and that's creating a new awareness, which is really powerful. I want to just speak here quickly about your clubs. So Diversity Union and STARS. not only during the virus, because this is a crazy time right now, and being in charge of a club is incredibly difficult because it's different regulations and things. We have to be safe. But overall, from your experience of being involved in these two organizations, what is giving you hope in your involvement there? Has there been an event or something that you've done that has said, oh, I see something here, and there's a wave to ride?
I would say for Diversity Union, we have just been a unit, trying to maintain our connections. And that's what I'm grateful for. Just us maintaining as a unit and constantly just trying to figure out ways to get more members, reach out to the community, make sure our voices are heard and we're helping people. So yeah, that's one way.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, I guess I'll go. We were both like struggling with the button. So I think that like one way I kept hope like through this all was my actual freshman year was like one of my like best years, I would say. I took a trip to Camden where we helped in like a homeless shelter, and I had an encounter with a man named Abraham, and I feel like I carry him like with me every day. I think that we just like connected well, and like he talked about like his like home as like such a hopeful place, even if it was like one of the most like destroyed places.
That's
So
beautiful.
like
I remember.
I think that that's something that like stays with me, and he like keeps hope like with me, because like if someone that's having a life that's like obviously not an ideal life, and he can like sit down and like inspire someone that I would say like I'm a privileged, like he inspired me, and he was like less fortunate.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Carly. I remember that day very well, and he had an impact on all of us, but I especially remember that there. So I'm glad that you remember it too, because if we witnessed it. Yeah, beautiful. Jeremy, what do you think?
Yeah, so hope for me is, just us being able to still, go to school and still St. Joseph still having students come in. We have new freshmen. That just brings hope to me that we're still moving forward, and we can still, get new members to join in ways that more people can help. When it was just one of us, then it's more of us, and just having the community as like St. Joseph's, we're like family. We always talk, and we just look for ways to get new members. And when we help someone, that's helping them to help someone else. So that's just bringing hope. That's how I feel. It's uplifting our hope for a better future, and more people will be helped in the future.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, community. Amen to that. Piggybacking on all of this greatness here, I'm going to invite someone who's from outside of the St. Joseph's College community to join our conversation in a second here. To give her an introduction, though, Chanee Hammonds is involved with Wyandanch Homes and Services, and every year we do a great Christmas gift drive, and we do some Thanksgiving food donations. The person that I get to collaborate with this is Chanee, and she's someone that I think outside of our community instills hope and provides great, just great energy, and just someone really awesome to work with, and to get to see our students work with Wyandanch Homes and Services and see how we are taking this conversation out there and doing things that we believe in, and working with people that are just awesome. So Chanee, I'm going to invite you in here. Now we're like the Brady Bunch. Look at this.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Chanee, how are you?
I'm good. How's everyone doing today?
Wow.
Doing great.
Good.
Good.
So could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do with Wyandanch Homes and Services?
Yes, hi. So my name is Chanee Hammonds. I am the Associate Director for Wyandanch Homes and Property Development Corporation. And we are a transitional housing program. We're located all our houses are located in Wyandanch. What we do is we help homeless families. And we're different from other agencies because what we try to do is give them the skills to become self-sufficient. So the people who we are coming onto the program, the adults and their children, we work with the entire family unit. The adults are often going back to school, either obtaining diplomas, GEDs, sometimes college degrees. And by the time they leave our program, they're in a better position from where they started. So I actually started when I first started working here as a case manager, and now I'm an associate director. So I played both roles. I'm able to see it from a different angle in this position, but I love working with people, giving them hope and giving them a sense of family because a lot of people who come into our program, they don't know what it is sometimes to have supportive people backing them up and telling them, you can do it, you can make a difference.
That is
That's a little bit of what we do.
that is so important, because I think there's a lot of feelings with regards to helping people that, because I had this conversation with someone recently who I was giving a gentleman some money and who was in need, and they said, you shouldn't give people money because you never know what they're gonna. You should, and I said, actually, no. I think part of the problem is there's not enough people that are giving each other trust. And when you give someone trust, it's different than giving them a meal. A meal is good, but and sometimes it's that experience, like you're saying, of giving someone hope and community and trust. That's what people need. Because whenever you think about our own lives, we only do good when we feel that people are invested in us.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only time that we ever feel like we're going to carry, because we're not carrying ourselves, we're carrying the spirit of that person too. So that's what you're doing over there with all those families, is you're carrying that with you, which is really wonderful. What do you see is hope with working with young people or seeing young people today? How are you feeling about our future and the way things are going?
Well, let me just say, being behind stage and just listening to everything that you guys were saying, I'm so inspired by you guys. Like, you guys are absolutely amazing. I mean, oh my gosh. And I agree with everything. Everyone made fantastic points, and I agree with everything that you said. I think that, I shared something with Christian when I was speaking to him about this event. And what I told him is that when I was young and getting ready to graduate college, I still had no idea what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to help people. That was above all, that's what I wanted to do. And it kind of, spiraled into this career, and I actually get a chance to work hands-on with people and help people. And I feel like, it's so important to remember that everybody is an individual. Everyone has a different story. Everyone has a different things that they have lived through and what they've come and where they're trying to make it to. And everyone deserves a chance. And I feel like, the youth of today, you guys, absolutely embody that. You have that. And we have to keep on sending that message and making sure people understand. Give someone a chance. Listen to people. Sometimes people just want to hear. Yeah. They want to be heard, and they want you to hear them too. So I feel like you guys absolutely encompass all of that. I'm so impressed. I'm just so impressed by you guys. I was loving hearing you guys talk. Like, oh, are they going to talk some more? I love it.
Yeah, feel free to chime in if any of you have questions for Chanee while we have her here. I'll throw another one at you here. I think a lot of times, from my experience, because being on the campus ministry side, I feel like a lot of times I'm a facilitator for the students and then organizations like yours, and I'm kind of like connecting dots so the students can have experiences. And in that process, I find myself being humbled and realizing, oh, what the real need out there is this, and maybe we should refocus our energy. And at first I could think that it's simple, we got to do this, and then realize by talking to someone like you, Chanee, and saying, no, we should be doing this. So what is something that you think we could all be doing better with in our own backyard when we reach out to help? Or what do you think is something we should know about action and service?
I think that in regards to what you're saying, I feel like something really important people should not just be about it as far as words. Action is the word action, movement, motion. It's so important, and like a lot of people are behind the scenes, but as long as you are doing your part to make yourself heard, make your voice heard, or to be someone to let someone else's voice be heard, that's so majorly important. And that's what I feel like we should all be doing as far as justice and action. A lot of times people feel like a number. They don't feel like a human being. They don't feel like they can actually get out what it is that they have to say and what it is that they're trying to do. A lot of times, they feel very muted, and I feel like if you're someone of action and you have this plan and you have, you want to provide the advocacy for some of these people, sometimes you can be the voice or allow someone to have their voice heard.
Can I throw a hardball question at you?
Sure.
This is for everyone, actually, because I constantly feel like every time I have conversations like this, I'm like, wow, actually doing good isn't that hard. It's actually a lot simpler. So then why is it so tough for people to do it then?
Personally, I feel like that's an excellent question, by the way. People are selfish, and people are more concerned with themselves and their own families and friends around them. Um, I feel like as a person, here in the world, yes, I love helping people. I feel like this is the reason why I'm here. I'm here to help people. The thing is that that's not always an easy thing to do when you're only concerned about yourself. And I feel like if you're only concerned about yourself and your loved ones, then you're not putting the big picture in focus. Because if I'm happy, then I can make sure I can pass that on to make someone else happy. But a lot of times people don't think it's just how you think about things. And if you're not thinking about it, for example, Carly was talking about that experience that she had with that gentleman. She was able to see things from a completely different perspective. And sometimes when you have that experience and you are able to see things from another perspective, you can expand your mind like, oh, well, maybe I can do something different. Maybe it doesn't just have to be about me and my friends and my family. Maybe it can be about helping this organization or helping this, there's so many things. And I just feel like if people could just expand their minds besides just their own little small little box, we could get there.
All right. So now I'm going to spin this to the students here for a minute. But I'm going to rephrase it a little bit because I agree. I think selfishness is part of it. I also think that a part of it too is that we think that we can't do enough just by ourselves. So then we use that as an excuse to not do anything, right? Because we think, who am I? I'm just a small little person over here. I can't do anything. So the three of you students, what was the hurdle or what was the moment that you felt, oh, I can do something. I'm not just one person. I can. And because I think a lot of people in college and your age should hear that and be inspired by that because you're doing it. You're out there doing stuff. So what was that for you? Yeah, think about it for a minute.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say from me, my foundation starts with my family, and watching them be very giving individuals. Coming from a background of advocacy, being Indigenous, where we're constantly fighting for rights, has translated into my life and very different aspects, and allowed me to see different perspectives. So I noticed, like, if there's always power in numbers, you just can't do anything by yourself. So connecting with groups such as Diversity Union, when I first got to St. Joseph's, I was like, wait, there's power in numbers. And these people are ready for some change here. And they're looking at a bigger holistic picture just to better St. Joseph's community and beyond. So that's one way I was able to just gain a perspective of community, how to outreach and help others. Even meeting you, Christian, for instance. We were planning an outreach trip to Panama City, Florida, to give back to individuals that we've never met. And unfortunately, we weren't able to meet them because of the pandemic. But that's just my take on
that's beautiful too that you had the family aspect too. I'm always so happy to hear that because it does start at home and that does play a big role. Jeremy, Carly, what do you think?
I also agree. I think mine also starts at home. If you met my mom, she's involved in everything you could honestly volunteer for. We actually bought her a mug that says like, note to self, stop volunteering for things because she just never has enough time. But I think that I'm very much like her. If there's a way I can help, I'm going to be there 110% of the way. I'm going to put all my effort into it. I think at St. Joseph's, what made me want to start was actually me and Christian meeting at freshman seminar. And then afterwards, he reached out to like my professor and was like, hey, like, if you ever have a chance, like, tell Carly I want to talk to her. And that's when mine and his connection started. And from there, I went to every event I could, and then eventually became a president of a club that actually makes huge changes in the world.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I totally agree that, where your background is from, it really shows how you become, how you how I say it, you learn to, understand how can I help, I come from a family, that always tells me, oh, Jeremy, you just try this, go, you never know how it goes, and the problem is that, I had to, I'm not perfect, but I had to get over where I I don't look at fear as, something that's going to hold me down. I look at it as a hurdle. And every time, you try something, the problem is that, a lot of people have fear. They're afraid of what people might say. You get a little part, for example, you get a little part in a play, and, you don't think that's important, but everybody's important. We have to understand that everyone in society is as important as everyone else. And once we understand that, and break fear, for me, going to St. Joseph's, I never thought I would ever be, like the president of a club or, just helping out this much. But I feel like as I got encompassed in, the community of St. Joseph's. It's a great place. People are friendly, and you meet people that are always willing to help. So for me, it was, getting over the boundary of fear.
Yeah, that's awesome, Jeremy. And you just said the part about like how, like using the reference of theater, or like getting a part in the show, and how every part matters. I heard someone recently say this, and I may have said this already somewhere else, but it's worth repeating. I thought it was really beautiful. Someone was talking about how they're a theater person. They were saying how they never won any awards. And the person that they were talking to said, aren't you mad that you never won any awards? You're so good at what you do. You're like the best at this specific job. And he said, no, because I'm not doing it for the awards. I'm doing it in service of the story and the people that I work with. And that's why that person never, and I was like, wow, that is really a powerful way to look at it. I'm doing it in service of, and you could use that for any analogy, anything. What are you in service of? And that in and of itself is the award. Chanee, I'm going to throw it back to you here for a moment. What is some hope or words of affirmation that you feel like would be helpful for our community here, St. Joseph's College, to hear from someone on the outside who I always use the term, you're in the trenches, you're doing it. And we are grateful for the opportunity where we get to hop in the trenches every now and then with you and learn with you. What's something that maybe we could take away from you, some hope of affirmation, maybe? Yeah.
I would say determination. I would say trust. A lot of words that we actually already brought up today. Family. Hope. You guys are all capable of doing it and helping, and even bringing other people in to help. And you know what? I feel like it's such a. It's not only a necessity, but it's also being very empathetic to people. Understanding, what people are saying, and just kind of trying to figure out how you can fit into that, piece of the story. It's, things you've experienced, and trying to help others deal with things. There's so many people out here in the world with trauma, and they've been through so much, and trauma comes in different forms. And if you're able to recognize that, just having a conversation with someone, you may be able to help. And it doesn't have to be something huge, And I love that you guys are, in these organizations, and you guys are taking that step forward to that you're already there. You're definitely already there. You have so much more to go. And I know it seems like wow, there's a lot going on, and there's so much more to come, but I really feel like, be determined, be steadfast, don't give up. Don't give up, even when things seem so down. A lot of times people like to cry. I always tell, certain people that I'm dealing with, don't crawl under your rock, because when you crawl under your rock and you come back, everything you were dealing with is going to be 10 times higher than when you just left in the first place. So, you know what? Keep going and lean on each other. We are here together. There's a lot of people who are hearing everything that you're saying, and they're going to be there for you, and we're all together. We are, in a sense, of family, and I'm just meeting you guys, and I feel like I've known you guys for such a long time. You guys speak so amazingly, and I love what you're doing. So yes, I just say perseverance, determination, hope, just keep moving forward.
Well, we have known you for so long in a way spiritually, because, and this is why I wanted to invite you here, because the Christmas gift drive that we do with you has become such a pillar of hope and love on our campus, that I get messages all the time about people that every year they're like afraid that I'm not going to do it. They're not going to. We're definitely doing that. We're definitely doing that, especially this year. So we might not know you by name or face yet, right? But everyone knows the work that you're doing because of the way that the connection is there. So it's no surprise that this is a wonderful conversation. Well, I want to thank everyone for being here. I'm going to close here. I have a piece of text that Father James Martin, who's a Jesuit priest and works at America Magazine, who does wonderful work for all different marginalized communities, and he's a hero of mine. He offered this, he wrote this up here regarding the crazy year that we're having. And I just want to share this. I thought this was really powerful. Increase my courage so that I can stand up in times of danger. Create in me a new heart that I might be brave in times of turmoil. Make me someone who is ready to care for, advocate for, and suffer with those on the margins. I think that's a really powerful way to leave today. So thank you all for being here and taking the time to chat. And I look forward to taking it even further and further in our actions. All right.
Bye. Thank you for
Bye.
having
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you.